boy Bleeves.
This is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right.
Everybody listen up.
If you don't use NordVPN, you could get hacked, and that would suck.
Bada bing, ching, ching, big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
Don't forget to sign up for MEXC. The link's in the description down below. That helps me out tremendously.
This it's not financial advice.
OKX is offering incentives for you to sign up. Make sure that you sign up today in the description down below.
I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right.
Go to atlashealthline.com for all of your Delta 8 gummy needs and for all your Delta 8 inhalation needs, I want to say. I don't know. Something like that. It's in the description below.
It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year. So let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors.
Guys, if you're outside of America, or if you're lucky enough to be using NordVPN, you could be signed up to BitGet for all of your futures trading needs. The link is in the description down below. Hey guys, if you're trading in America, you can use up-down trading through crypto.com. It's in the description down below. Sign up today and start trading.
Carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way. So everybody gets sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, everybody? This is Breakfast with Bleeves. Good morning to everybody. Crypto market struggling just a little bit as we get into the morning hours. There are a lot of bearish signals that are starting to flash throughout cryptocurrency on Bitcoin, and that is starting to give people pause, not the least of which is the annual dump caused by Bitcoin Miami, which has now become what seems like an absolute tradition. and I don't know what to say in regards to that. It just looks like the market in general, the overall is looking very weak. And surprisingly along the way, we're starting to see more strength start to develop in the US dollar. And Kina Rio has now become a member. Thank you so much for joining the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to come check me out and who takes the time to become a member of the channel. So let's kick this off with all the information that you're going to need for the day, and let's get going. First up, Dow Jones starting to get a little bit of a move to the upside. Earnings whispers obviously came in with some fantastic results over the last several months, to be fair. This week has just been a John Deere, gigantic provider. Foot Locker did miss, by the way. So Foot Locker did not have a great time despite every other. Now, one of the things that I should point out with Foot Locker is they're not a giant in the industry. They just do a lot of advertising. So people, when they see that, you don't get too much into the weeds there. 1.9 billion in revenue off of 2 billion. Still large company, but not the retail giant that some of these other ones have been. Deere absolutely crushed it. So just as you go down this list, you're going to start seeing a lot of the familiar faces. As we close out, these are not, we're basically done now. Walmart beat, Target beat. You know, we had really good numbers. So now we move on, not in altcoin season, not even close. But there are some big things happening. And let's start with one of the biggest, even though it might be small for you. I'm going to show you a new artwork here. And this right here is going to be everywhere now. This is the new logo for the Ben project. And so it really is just an arrow pointing east, north, or west, northeast. And then you can see it posted towards the bottom. It still has a little arrow pointing down, meaning that Ben Coin intends to be everywhere that you would want to be, et cetera, et cetera. So if you haven't already, go check out Ben Armstrong BitBoy Crypto, and you can see that you can see that this is that this is going on. So all right, so let's get going here. Let's get all the news underway. Thank you again, Keena, for joining the channel. Appreciate you very, very much. Now, let's move on to Bitcoin price prediction. So now we're starting to see people, cracks in the pavement, so to speak, drop below 24,000 seems inevitable. And when you're looking at the chart, you are seeing Bitcoin is facing resistance around 27,815 with support at 26,135. The RSI stands at 48.19, which could mean that the asset is overbought. This leaves room for speculation if Bitcoin may fall further in the coming days. The Bitcoin Awesome Oscillator indicates a selling opportunity at this moment. This metric casts further doubt on Bitcoin's bullishness. And if you are looking at a chart and you're looking at Bitcoin and you're looking at volume, which is a big indicator, let's go to the daily chart over here and kind of zoom out in the volume, and you can see over here that the volume is starting to come down tremendously from where it was up here. There was a lot of bullishness, and it continues to move to the downside. When you look at some of these others, you don't see as much because, of course, it takes a little time, but on the 1 hour, you're seeing it start to move down, 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 down. On the 4 hour, same thing. The signals were way more robust as we were down here in these areas as these big moves were happening. So still not seeing the inflows that we want to see. Over here, you're seeing $30 billion in the market. You're not really seeing that big move. It seems like there's a little bit of a hesitancy, and that comes when the DXY starts to pump. And the DXY with a big pump today is probably the reason that we're not seeing a bigger move right now. The safer investment, the easier investment, those are the ones that you go for. By the way, I might stop here for a second and say that Bob is absolutely ripping yet again. Was up over 8,000 for just a short time a little bit earlier. Retraced back down, but it came off of another bounce. And look, Bob has been a great opportunity to make plays, especially if you're doing futures trading. Just play the percentages, play this channel right here, and really it's kind of forming pretty well if you haven't noticed already. Boom, 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 boom. Been fairly consistent across the board here. I'm going to expect a retracement back down here into the 58, the 6,000 level. And if it reverses off of that, then we're probably going to have another big test up near the top. So if you haven't made a play on Bob yet, there are worse things that you could be doing right now in this market. By the way, this is the top over here. This is we're at 19% lift on the day. So again, with this being the top, don't get in at the top. Let this thing play out to the bottom if that's a play that you were willing to make. But for Bitcoin, we are seeing there's a good chance that the original cryptocurrency could fall towards 24 to 22,000. This level has a lot of liquidity and is a healthy point for Bitcoin to bounce back up from. Additionally, the 22K level is a point where we can have a lot of institutional money flowing in. It is possible that current prices are not attractive to institutions, and a further slide could see more interest from that group. And here's the thing, they're going to hold out, because if they hold out a little bit longer, then people get tired with the lack of price action. And when they get tired with the lack of price action, and Gav, it's actually available over there. You can start trade. Go up to the top on the left and just type in Bob, and in the futures USDT. Brad Beatty in the house. What's going on, my man? But yeah, you can do Bob futures trading over on MEXC. I've done it quite a few times so far. Between that and Pepe, been a lot of fun. But again, we're looking at Bitcoin for this bigger fall. Inflation came in lower this month. Look, there's plenty of things that are giving you this bullish signal. And I'm telling you that Bitcoin is still on the path. Let's pull up the day chart now. That Bitcoin has still not broken out of this parabolic curve cycle that we're kind of in right here. which would indicate that we are still on our way on a collision course with 37,000. It's still coming. It's still one of those things. We're probably going to have this theme seems to be running almost perfect still. And this is, we're look, 5 months into it, 5.5 months into this cycle. So if this is going to play out to the properly, then we're going to see some capital inflow. We're going to see a move to 37,000. Then we're going to see a retracement back down to what would be probably 27 after that. Or we're going to see this cycle continue. And if the cycle continues, then like I told you before, the next step up here is 54,000. So I know it's a fantastical cycle, but look, here's the thing. These things happen when you least expect it, and there are very few people out here calling it. A few of us have said something about it. If you go watch Crypto Zombie for any length of time, you will know that he's probably gotten on board and said that, you know, this is how this parabolic curve cycle is playing out. And we deal with the day-to-day mundanity of trading sideways, stuff like that. But really, we are on this big cycle right now. And if this cycle plays out, then there we are. 37,300 is the next play. So moving on from there, the US dollar holds strong despite economic woes. Will crypto suffer? The simple answer to that is yes. As we've seen the spike over here on the DXY, we'll look at this as a comparison over here with cryptocurrency. We're looking at let's do a top and a bottom over here, and then on the bottom here, we're going to do a Bitcoin. So you really can see here that on the day index that we're moving along with the market for a long period of time, the DXY that is, and then all of a sudden it just all seems to have reversed. Like, you know, and you can see this has been an inverse pattern for a long period of time, that when a DXY goes up, Bitcoin comes down. Then we saw this coming down while Bitcoin was going up. Then we saw this correlation where it kind of merged together for a little while. This is when the bank crises started to happen, and we were seeing two things happening at once. We were seeing a strengthening of the dollar, and we were seeing a strengthening of Bitcoin. But as you can see right now, the divergence has started again. So as long as the DXY continues to pump, then the money for Bitcoin continues to be removed from the market. So hopefully we'll get a nice little turnaround on that, and the price action is going to give us a much better a situation soon. But don't forget that we are looking at an entry point somewhere in the neighborhood of 25.2 right now. Now, there are people out here, and you know, you can make an argument right around here at 23,672 that seems to be a great level to have a bounce off of. You might even see it come down into this 23 range for a quick flash. That's an entry point. And look, the whole idea here is to get capital back into the market. There is a liquidity pool in here, and there is interest from institutional investors. So hopefully we'll see something happen. Now, if that does happen, by the way, then you can see here from the chart, that does break this parabolic curve cycle. So might be good for the market long term, but it does break this little cycle out of the pattern that it's formed. So we'll see whether that happens, but it does feel like we need the capital that would be in this area in order to make that push back up and get a little bit higher. Trail Boss in the house with the $5 bomb. Good morning, Bleaves. I missed the beginning of the show. Can you give me a quick technical analysis on NGMI? Sure can. Give me just a few minutes. We'll get on that. Hey, we got Funny Donald in the house. You are tremendously good looking. Hugely, let's do it.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the BLEEVESCRYPTO YouTube channel. You got to become a member, because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald out.
And if you can't trust Funny Donald, who can you trust? Come on, guys. It's science. It's science. I mean, don't make me get out a map and use a Sharpie to extend a hurricane path. You know what I'm saying? If you can't trust Donald Trump, who can you trust out here? Come on, let's be real. All right, Bencoin did not rug. There's nothing going on with Bencoin in the negative right now. In fact, Bencoin is pumping at this moment off of a low of 56 over here just a little while ago, because it had a move towards that downside around 56. But there is a new Bencoin logo. There is this right here, Be Everywhere Now. This is the new Ben logo. The dog's going to go away. We'll have a a big transition going over. The deal gets finalized today. I don't have any inside detail. I've had a few talks with BitBoy Crypto, but they're cursory, just high and buy kind of stuff. So I have no idea what's going on in the background. Just trying to be supportive of the project and covering it as it goes along. So I don't really know anything other than what I see. I was not lucky enough to get into the Voltieco pool. And in fact, Pablo was not, Rodney was not, Jake was not, nobody who I know of that does videos or content for Volt got in on the pool. This was, and it was expensive for me to not get in. Really sucked, by the way, because it cost like $300 to just keep trying over and over and over again to get in, because it kept trying to, charge, and, really wanted to get in, did not get in. But one of the NFTs that were minted for a share, one of those shares minted and sold for $3,000 this morning on OpenSea, which actually sounds pretty bullish. That's really market price, though. If the token's trading at 82.80 and there's 3 billion tokens, and that's 2,400 and 2,500 roughly, and then 500 for the NFT. So 3,000 seems kind of in line with the price action at this point. But when that price reversal hits and we start going up to 1,500 or something like that, you're gonna be seeing those selling for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So there we go. YL is the only one of us that got into that pool, and it was crazy. Like it was crazy. PsyOps is a scam. It's a long-term scam. I know. PsyOp bad. Everybody else good. I know. I know. Look, Ben ETH is just playing everybody right now, and he's driving all of you crazy because you're maxis and you're easy to trigger. And what he's doing basically is he's whipping it out and slapping you in the face with it every single time. And you're like, yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. When what you should be doing is just chilling out and relaxing, because it's nonsense for you to get this. Look, I put 0.1 ETH. I sent 0.1 ETH to ETH Ben just because I figured, you know what? Let's see how this plays out. It's worth $200 to just kind of throw it out there and see what happens, because we have a chat for that. It's like this weird, it's like this weird sort of thing where all he has to do is come out here and start posting all this stuff, and you guys, and by the way, like, are we not, like, guys, I gotta, do you not know that it's called PsyOp for a reason? He's messing with you about everything. Eventually, there's going to be a launch, and when the launch comes out, you're going to get some tokens. You're not going to get all the tokens. That's part of the PsyOp. So if somebody mentioned that they only got a few tokens, they only got 8% of their supply. Should have been 5% of the supply, I think, is the number. And then sell them on the open market. If you made back your original, off of that, then good. But he also said that he was going to divest and create a schedule for 95%, I want to say 95% of the funds that were kind of thrown in there. I think that he said that that's what he wanted to do. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll absolutely see, how this plays out. So, but let's move on from there and get into, give me 1 second here. All right. Next up, the Mooch, the man, Anthony Scaramucci, the shortest media personality that Donald Trump ever hired. 11 days. Says Bitcoin is 50% undervalued. Predicts one catalyst will trigger explosive returns for Bitcoin. A lot of things happened last year. You're mentioning Sam Bankman-Fried thing. It was almost as if John Merriweather and Bernie Madoff had a baby. It was Sam Bankman-Fried. You got everything in that story. You got fraud. You got over leverage. You got excess confidence. You got a really big depression in the markets, and the markets probably overshot to the downside. And so we think intrinsically, Bitcoin's worth about 40,000. Wow, how close am I to 37.3? Look at that. Bitcoin's trading at 27,372. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, am I like patting myself on the back every single time when somebody says something about we're going to be in this 40,000 range? Yeah, and my hands starting to get sore. You know what I mean? Because it does seem, it does appear that way, that we're headed, we're on a path to 37,300. What we do see is better miner activity. We see wallet expansion. You've got 4% global absorption for Bitcoin, about 340 million wallets. That's roughly where the internet was in 1998. So we just have to get from 4% to 8%, and you'll see explosive returns in Bitcoin. So I want people to be patient. And that's what Anthony Scaramucci is saying, that as a long-term investment, you're about to see an explosion. Doesn't mean that you're not going to see downside. Doesn't mean that, like I said just a few minutes ago, doesn't mean that we don't come down here and test 22, 23, 24,000. Doesn't mean that that doesn't happen. It just means that from the looks of things, there's about to be some explosive returns. And when people realize that the value, or the true intrinsic value of Bitcoin should right now be around 40,000, when that starts to be realized, then you will see a capitulation from institution potentially as they jump in here to see a nice massive run. So we'll see how this plays out. I would expect a downside move. I would expect a fake out and a shakeout move to the downside that goes very, very quick to get some capitulation from whales, to get some capitulation from retail, to create a shakeout, and then it's just a bold and dynamic move, the likes of which we saw over here. Like that's what I think is going to happen, because we've seen it a couple times so far, right? We saw the shakeout, then we saw the pump, then we saw the shakeout, then we saw another pump, then we saw a shakeout, then we saw another pump, then we saw a shakeout and another pump. So here we are. It's about time for that to happen. We should see something happening pretty soon. Now, Dow Jones futures rise ahead of the Jerome Powell speech. So Jerome Powell will be speaking today. He speaks at 11 a.m. at the Thomas Laubach Research Conference, which is why, by the way, the markets are pumping, because there's a feeling and a general sense right now that people kind of believe that there might be something happening. And Richie just gifted 5 memberships over here to the channel. J Manuel, Mr. KC's, Luna Classic Maxi, Sue A, Nick Bright. Thank you so much, Richie. And by the way, for those of you that did not get to see, we got to stop everything and we got to talk about Mr. Cease over here, because let me tell you something. I have never been as humbled in my life as I was to see this picture play out. And of course I say, oh, and by the way, Mikey here got his Volta Believer hat. So if you haven't got a Volta Believer hat, I don't know what's wrong with you. By the way, in case you wonder, I am absolutely fucking hilarious on Twitter. American Investors in 2023 summarized. Breakfast with Bleeves, by the way, this podcast will now be available going forward. It will launch on Spotify in a few hours, and it will be available to you on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts going forward as well. So as you can see here, I am just hilarious from beginning to end, absolutely hilarious. But and of course, I am stalling you with words and say thingies because I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Apparently, I do way too much on this goddamn Twitter thing. Like, Jesus Christ, please chill the fuck out. Here we go. How awesome is it? I can't even tell you how humbled I am. I can't even tell you how humbling it is to see something like this. Because, by the way, in fact, I am wearing the shirt today myself in honor of the Cease family here, because this was just amazing to me. And the fact that they took the time to get what amounted to be an actually really nice hat, by the way. But the fact that this happens is one of the most humbling things that I've ever experienced in my life. So I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you who are fans. If you want Volta Believer gear, it is down in the description below at my spread shop. And guys, the fact that you guys take the time to help me in any way, I appreciate so much. And thank you all, everybody. MEXC, that's where you help me the most. NordVPN. NordVPN is, I think, $4.99 a month, and you get 90 days for free. Signing up for NordVPN is huge for me. Signing up for MEXC and trading on MEXC, that's the huge thing right there. And then BitGet, signing up and trading on BitGet as well. And you might need one of these. I think it's that. God damn it, this one. You're going to need NordVPN. You might need NordVPN for your privacy. And listen, it's important for you to stay anonymous online, right? We are in we're in a society, in a situation in which people are trying to track you. People are trying to steal your data. People are trying to use your information in order to steal from you, to rob you, rip you off. Remember, Volted Dragon lost a ton of money from a hack, and you don't want that to happen. So NordVPN is where you provide yourself with some safety and security. Make yourself unhackable. Make yourself as unhackable as you possibly can. Give yourself every advantage. Just take the time to sign up with NordVPN. If you don't like the trial, then you can cancel at any time. You are not stuck. But please, by all means, be safe online. Be safe online. And again, for $5 a month, it's absolutely worth it. Ryo wants to check out NGMI, and he is not the only one. Let's go check out NGMI. For those of you that don't know, that is not going to make it. And it's the one with the red hat, and it is up. There are technical issues, by the way, happening on Dex Tools. But it is up right now from yesterday, by the way. Remember, we were talking about this yesterday. What was yesterday? The 18th, around right here. This is about where we were when we were talking about not going to make it. And look at the move that it's made so far. That is about a 400% lift, even though we've seen this drawdown come back down. That was about a 400% lift. And if you didn't take your profits, shame on you. 1.2 million market cap, 1.75 million in 24-hour volumes. This is a dip in which you might have some opportunity. If you take this and say this is the move here, then you just tested 0.618 level on a fib retracement, which would likely indicate that you're going to get a significant bounce, perhaps towards or near the all-time high. So trading at 29.38 right now, you missed the 25, the dip all the way down here. If this does play out, and if you do get that little run, then expect around a 4,000, 4,500, maybe even up to test the top one more time. If that happens from here, it's about an 80% lift in addition to where you currently are. If you did, again, if you missed it, then I would at least look to wait a little bit longer to see if there's a downward momentum here to continue down to the 7.1 level, which would be right about here. There is a bounce level. If you can get that, then that's going to be an epic run for you. But I would think that around 2,500 will be a good run for you to begin with, and that's where it seems to be settling right now. So you might get one more shot, but looks like people are enthused by it. 1.75 million in trading volume is a pretty significant amount. So, God damn it. There we go. Let's try that one more time. Anyway, here we go. This is actually what we're talking about. This is the NGMI. It's on a dip right now. There is a fib retracement. Fib retracement is, let's do this one more time here. Fib retracement puts it at about 618 right now. Could come down here into this 1615 level. Maybe it comes down to that level. Look to accumulate it. To look, be shrewd. These are meme coins. They're not going to make it. NGMI says all you need to know about it. So, yeah, I mean, guys, listen to the token when it talks to you. NGMI not going to make it. They're all not going to make it, right? There's very few of these that are actually going to be out there pretty soon. So take the opportunity when you get the opportunity, make the money when you don't be afraid to take profits. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe your family, you owe your family life-changing wealth. That's what you owe, right? That's the opportunity that you have. Take your small wins when you get your small wins. Don't get caught up in some kind of ideal scenario or anything like that. Dalton wants to talk about the Blaze token, and Blaze sounds like something that burns a lot. Let's see what Blaze is doing right here. Launched 25 days ago. Blaze token is at 53.54, and man, oh man, oh man, it is moving hard. Not a whole lot of volume. Got to point that out. But look at this market cap, 5.3 million, 584,000 in liquidity. This is that's a decent ratio. That's over 10% right now going into liquidity. Again, not a lot of volume, but a move towards the upside. Now, are we burning a lot of tokens off of this? Are we like just frying them off the chain? No. There's a trillion tokens. And we got, what, is there a dead wallet? There's a dead wallet with about 0.7% of the supply. Okay, for the life of me, I got to be honest with you. For the life of me, I don't know what's holding this thing up. I don't know what's holding this thing up, but it's being held up. So I don't know what's going on with Blaze right here. I'm telling you right now that there's no situation in which I would not be taking profits at this sort of level. I would have already had my original investment out and riding this to the moon, and I would be grabbing some more out right now because you never know. Look, these things are nice when they fly, but all right, here we go. Oh, this is the one that burns the SHIB tokens. Yeah, so through our buy and sell feature, we burn immense quantities of Shiba Inu coin and Blaze token once a week. Shiba Inu coin has a massive community. And so it should be noted here, by the way, going back over here, 0.7% of the tokens have been burned so far. So that's not a significant supply. So I would imagine that this is probably going to be a longer termed project and a great opportunity to burn. I don't know what the percentage is. I'll probably have to look this up to figure out what the percentages are. But if it's burning Shiba Inu, that's going to be to the benefit of the community there. And I would think that they're going to be pretty excited about that. So I would think that this probably has a little bit more life than I might have just given it credit for a few seconds ago. Yeah, Dalton, I think that might end up being a pretty good one. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. All right. So let's finish this off. Because a lot of people are asking questions about a lot of different tokens. We want to get into each and every one of them. So let's go over here. Justin Sun wants to revitalize Huobi and Poloniex with meme coins. Now this all makes sense. Remember, not that long ago, Volt was on Poloniex, was trading high volume. They got a referral to Huobi, did a free listing, and now all of a sudden Huobi and Poloniex are trading what can only be described as shit tons of tokens for Volt. So this is the DEX, by the way. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I want to do Volt V2. Trading 21 million today. And then who's the volume? Where's the volume? Volume over here. Gate.io, 7.2 million. Poloniex, 7.2 million. And Huobi, 3.1 million. So yeah, you're seeing just gigantic volume over here in trading of meme coins, and you're probably going to see some adoptions from Poloniex and Huobi. This is going to be to the advantage of every single token that's out there in existence right now, maximizing their potential over here with Justin Sun. So that makes sense, and that's a little bit of why Volt was the first meme coin to go from Poloniex to Huobi in that transition. Like that's we're getting some clarity on that right now. Anyway, crypto market recovery unlikely until stablecoin universe stops shrinking. Tether's market cap has been growing at the expense of rival stablecoins such as USD coin, the report said. And that actually is true. We covered this like 3 months ago. It's good that JP Morgan is getting out here and talking about it too. And it is important. They might be right, because what we're talking about really is the safety net that you have in cryptocurrency is your stablecoins. And if your stablecoins are not stable, then, and it's just a transfer back and forth, money's not entering the market, capital's not coming in. So if that's the case, then be very careful, because you're not going to see a pump based on that. Just moving the money from USDC to Tether and Tether to USDC, that's not doing anything. And then the worst underperforming cryptos of the week. I'm just going to do this really quick for you. XDC, Bitcoin SV, Cosmos, Clayton, and Casper. Now, of those, I would think that Cosmos is the one that we probably want to see do a quick flip, because that is an entire ecosystem of Luna Classic, et cetera, and Luna. The Cosmos is also Chronos. So I would think that that's going to be the one that's going to have a big flip of anybody. And All right, there we go. So the markets are now open. Dow Jones is trading in the positive. The DXY is still coming down just a little bit off of that dip. Not a whole lot, but we are seeing like a little bit of a reversal. The capital isn't really moving into the market in any significant way. So we're going to close out the main market and we're going to focus on memes. BRL is at 46 cents right now, up 12% on the day. We've got some moves back into the BRL ecosystem. Bob just having another good day. Look, you got to be playing the dips on Bob. You cannot get caught up in the myth of all of this shit. I promise you, this does not end well for you. This is still a meme coin. And the fact that this dev team is doing a fantastic job right now of running this token you cannot fall on deaf ears here. 17,000, almost 18,000 holders, but the market cap is 50 million. That will not hold. You will get wrecked off of this. So again, be very careful when you're making these investments. Only invest what you think reasonably is the bottom. Remember, this right here, this move right here, it didn't break out of anything that it was supposed to be doing. It's actually doing exactly what this trend line says that it's going to be doing. Same thing over here. It's not doing anything new. It's not doing anything. If you consider that this was a breakdown even, it still looks pretty like this is the like this thing is playing in a specific pattern. This 6,000 level does seem to be a bounce area, but more than likely we're looking at something along the lines of around 57. It could also, by the way, end up breaking down. Depends on the news. But guys, don't get wrecked by overthinking your situation. Take your money when you make your money. Go find a new win. Stop holding on to these meme coins forever, or at least take your original investment out and then let the rest of it ride. Now, Decanect, for those of you that don't know, I can now show you. This is Deca motherfucking scan. So here we go. Okay, so if you are interested, this is, by the way, the markets. This is Deca scan. Remember, I told you that you're going to need to hold 20,000. You're going to have to hold 20,000 Decanect in order to use this. But here's new launches, degens, and moonshots. And what this will do is when you click on these new launches coming down here, you're going to get an opportunity right here that's just launched. You're going to click this, and it'll take about a minute to load. And then it will tell you all the brand new tokens that are launched, and it will tell you whether or not the contracts are safe. If it doesn't show up here, the contracts are not safe, and you don't touch it. Then you have this over, then you make a decision based on that. This doesn't guarantee you success, but then you have these thing called degen plays where you click on this one. This is over a 30,000 market cap with an advanced filtering process, and you click that one and it will load. It takes about a minute again, but look, these are some of the tokens that it's called. It's called Bambi, did a 36x. WSB Classic did a 36x. This is, by the way, since the last update a couple days ago. I do have to stress that because it also called Pepe. It also called Bob. It also called a whole bunch of them, and the market's changed, by the way. So, we're getting here towards the end of this run. So there is some risky here. And then these are the moonshots. This will tell you. And then here's the deleted token that falls off of these lists, but we still think might have some potential. So if you haven't already, you're going to need 20,000 Decanect, and the price of Decanect continues to rise. It's now at 6.5 cents, up another 7%. By the way, it's going to get sticky icky at some point because Decanect was trading at about 17 cents a token not that long ago. So, guys, make a decision. Lillian trading at 3,400, having a nice little move to the upside again. Look, trading volume has to improve, obviously, but Lillian on June 24th is going to be launching on launching a V2. There are some details. I keep trying to get details. Nobody will tell me anything, but maybe we'll get something somewhere. Cato turning around 1070, NGN 1398, MMAI 2242, Bone trading around 76.55, no big change here. SHIB at 86.67 over here. WAGMI. Now look, WAGMI up here you might see is number one. It's not the WAGMI that we always talk about, by the way. It's a different WAGMI. So that's got to suck. If you got a 6.9 million market cap and you've been working for a year and you see a meme coin called WAGMI show up and it has like a 10 or 15 or 20 million market cap, it's got to be kind of an insult, wouldn't you think? Club 3882. And by the way, the team of WAGMI, they don't give a shit about that, right? Because they're focused on making a AAA rated game for your mobile devices. That's going to be a big time thing. So they don't really care about this price action, but it's still kind of a slap in the face that you can look at your WAGMI token and be like, why is this not running? And oh, look, we're number one. And it's not even you. It's some other scam pump and dump that's getting 20 million market cap or some ridiculous number like that. Like, just ridiculous. Pepe's at 15.16. I'm expecting, by the way, if you're a Pepe, then you should really be looking at this, because we're still in this channel. We're still breaking down through this channel, by the way, but there's a consolidation. This consolidation does go to the downside, by the way. If you notice right here, we are bouncing continually off of this 15 number, bouncing back up to 16. And now all of a sudden we're idle. If you look at, let's do a Bollinger Band right here. You might get some indication here. So we got a tightening channel here, not too much, but it is starting to tighten a little bit. And that usually signifies that we're about to have some kind of breakout move. It is Friday, so it is possible that we see Pepe break out to the upside. Now, we could also see a wreck in the market and Pepe go significantly down. I would not be surprised by that in the least. So bear that in mind. It really is playing out almost picture perfect over here. Ben is now at 68.87, down a little bit from that last move. But look, here we go again. We're starting to have this big run on Ben one more time. Look, we're shaking out every time. These investors who are just not going to be there at the end, they don't really give a shit about the whole what Ben could do. They're just here, like what I'm talking about, right? These are not long-term hodlers. These are people who are taking their profits on the way, leaving their moon bag in, not getting wrecked by this pie in the sky ideal. With that being said, Drink, you do have a big move that could potentially be happening on Ben. So Ben is signing the contract today, and that, I mean, Ben Armstrong, he's signing the agreement today. He's putting the liquidity over to the old Ben, who's doing PSYOP right now, and he is fucking with everybody. So you might see a big move coming from Ben as the day progresses and as we start to get new information. Now, obviously, I just showed you a little while ago, we do have a new logo, all of that kind of stuff. So we'll see. And I'm not affiliated, by the way, with them. I am going to be on Around the Blockchain next month on June the 16th, but I'm not affiliated with Ben or Ben Armstrong or BitBoy Crypto in any way. Lambo looks to me like it's pretty dead at this point. 155,000 off total market cap of 125. No move towards the upside. Still not seeing anything out of it. 8208 for Volt. Did not get into Voltieco. Tried my damnedest. Spent $300 trying to get in there. Got annoyed with the fact that I was spending $300 and then just gave up because obviously I just wasn't going to get in. So not really worried about it. There's Voltoshi recognized that there was way more interest than what he thought. Like, he thought having 200 spots was going to be enough, but now he's going to have to open additional pools. And he's already made a statement saying that he's going to open additional pools for people because it just obviously and clearly was not enough. So Wojak, 2119, again, 1 million volume, but it's really not looking very good for Wojak. Not going to spend time on it. Optimus, still on that downside move. Had a nice little spike, obviously, a couple days ago. We got the nice little run, but it's just not maintaining itself. And this right here, again, we're still consolidating this little area. The breakouts kind of keep happening here, but I think really this just takes an Elon tweet. So we'll see what happens. Turbo. Meme that, again, AI generated. This is awesome, but it's not really, I don't think it's really got much more room to run. Just continues to dwindle. The money's already been made. Sponge, probably the money's already been made. Ladies, is probably the money's already been made. Mong had a big ass run, but where did it go? Remember, it went right back down to where it was before. Now, this is an opportunity, by the way. If you're Mong, this would be the spot right here where you should have a bounce. Remember, I told you yesterday that you should get a strong bounce at 1,000 and get a big reversal. So if you're into Mong, and if you're interested in Mong, this is your reversal moment. Poo, 2380. I just like saying poo. It looks like this really is your bounce area at around 23, maybe a little bit lower. But this looks like the bounce area where things start to reverse over here. So could reverse, could go lower. It might not have the stamina to keep going in that direction right there. And Grumpy Cat, Scumdog $1,000,000 air. Look, not working. It's not going very well for his I'm gonna beat Pepe routine. So this 1029, this is the bounce level. It did come down way below. Remember, I said the other day, 1300, it'll pump up here. And it came all the way down below this level. So that's it is on its way down, by the way. So that play right here was muted. Then it's going to do this. It probably comes down into the 6s now, and then only comes up to about 12. By the bottom, this is in the mid range at this point. This was a bounce line. Seems like it rejected just a little bit, and then it became resistance over here. So if this maybe goes green a little bit more, maybe you want to take a shot saying it's going back to 2000. But like to me, that seems like a high risk for very limited reward. All right, guys. There we go. That's my time. Yeah, Volt is not dead. I'm so fucking annoyed that I didn't get into the pool. And it annoys me to no end. But look, there were a lot of people that got into the pool. Like, it's amazing what happened over here. So impressive. Asen, why is Volt not pumping Believes? All the utilities and hype and marketing, it can't even reach a new all-time high. No new investors or volume. Why? I don't have a simple answer for you, Asen. By the way, it's because people are in a meme coin frenzy, and it's not going to be it's not going to be the thing that you like. Like, I don't have there's no look. Here's the thing, and this is what Voltoshi said. Like, sometimes you get passed over. Liverpool, we did check Blaze token just a little while ago. If you scroll back about 10 minutes in the chat here, we did cover it. But the thing with Volt is, sometimes you have a great idea, sometimes you have something great going on, and it just gets missed by people because in the frenzy, you're looking at a zero meme token market. But when you look at the zero meme token market and you say, well, we remove the taxes, well, now we should like go crazy and start running. And I told you guys 3 weeks ago, no, that's not going to happen. Like, I'm the honest one out here. Okay. There will be a moment where Volt has a big run. There is a moment when it's going to have a day in the sun. Just didn't happen to be that point. And when you transfer it over to a zero tax token, you know what you did? You took a $60 million token and said, here, you guys enjoy. Well, nobody's interested in a $60 million market cap going to a V3. Like, there were a lot. Look, V2 worked for you. V3 just means that that changes a narrative a little bit, and it's not completely moved over yet. So, there's still things to work on, things to finish up to get into this new ecosystem. Voltieco is a great start. VoltiFlex is going to be another thing. But like, you have to build, you have to burn, and then you have to do some exchange listings. That's all. That's it. That's all that is, right? But here's the thing. Again, nobody's interested in buying a 60 million market cap item right now, whether it has zero tax or not. One thing that everybody who voted on that seems to have forgotten is that every altcoin has zero tax on it, and they're not pumping either. So just have a little patience and you'll be fine. And if you need to be stimulated constantly, get into meme coins. I don't know what to tell you because it doesn't make sense. But it will be fine. You will be fine. I'm jealous right now because I didn't, and I'm salty, by the way, that I didn't get into that Voltieco thing, because I think that that's going to be a game changer and it's going to create, but you have to actually pay out some airdrops first. Like, you can't just not make any airdrop thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, this is not financial advice. My name is Bleez. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys again very, very soon. We'll probably do something on Saturday, maybe on Sunday.
Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, and the proof's in the pudding. So can we forget about the